The true superpower of ancient Stoicism lies in its most misunderstood concept, detachment. Far from being apathy or emotional coldness, this discipline is an active strategy that teaches us precisely what to care about by separating the internal from the external. When mastered, detachment secures the mind's inner citadel, granting the individual an unshakable inner peace that external chaos simply cannot breach. This journey begins with the final destination, apatheia. This ancient Greek term is wrongly translated as apathy. In reality, apatheia means unperturbedness, a state of total freedom from emotional damage. It is the final level of psychological mastery, an immunity to panic, fear, and excessive desire. The entire Stoic system, crafted by philosophers like Zeno, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius, is the operating manual designed to help the practitioner govern their judgment and escape the destructive passions pathan. It is a demanding goal, but the system guarantees freedom to those who commit. But how do you even begin to control your internal state? The training starts with a single, uncompromising rule, the dichotomy of control. This is the core filter, the master code that unlocks all subsequent power. As Epictetus declared in his Enchiridion, some things are within our power, while others are not. You must sort every event in your life into one of two piles. The controllable pile contains only your judgments, your intentions, and your actions. The uncontrollable pile contains everything else: the economy, the stock market, other people's opinions, reputation, and the physical limitations of your own body. The power of detachment is immediately realized when you discover the truth. All human suffering and anxiety stem from one source, trying to force a controllable outcome on an uncontrollable event. By detaching your ego and emotional investment from external results, you reclaim the energy previously wasted on anxiety and redirect it toward the only thing that matters, your own character and virtuous response. This intellectual surgery cuts out the root of emotional volatility, leaving behind a profound calmness. If the dichotomy of control is the filter, then detachment is the armor forged through specific mental combat drills. This armor allows the Stoic practitioner to cultivate the inner citadel, a mental fortress that external events cannot breach. 1. Resilience to fortune. The first drill is premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. It is psychological insurance, not fatalism. You deliberately visualize losing everything: your wealth, your health, your home, your relationships. Seneca advised meditating on these losses daily. Why? Because you detach the illusion of permanence. This practice detaches your well-being from the capriciousness of fortune. When tragedy finally strikes, the Stoic is not devastated by shock. They are merely confirming a scenario already processed. The emotional blow is softened, and the intellect remains clear. The expected challenge is never a crisis. 2. Freedom from the crowd. For most people, the greatest source of distress is the desperate need for external validation. We are slaves to fear of criticism, always adjusting our course based on public opinion. Detachment liberates the practitioner from this social bondage. Epictetus reminds us that the reputation others hold of us is an external, uncontrollable thing. The Stoic anchors their self-worth solely in their own moral choices. If a person criticizes you, you detach the sting of the insult by asking, is the criticism valid? If so, you use it for improvement. If it is invalid, it is merely a misplaced judgment by another, an external event that holds no sway over your inner citadel. This freedom from the social crowd is essential in the age of constant digital judgment. This brings us to the biggest misconception, the final hurdle. Detachment is not apathy. Apathy is passive withdrawal. You quit the field and cease to feel or act. Stoic detachment is an active, rational state that allows for maximum effort without emotional debt. It is the absence of irrational feeling and a commitment to rational feeling. The Stoic runs into the burning building to save a life. They engage fully, applying courage and skill. However, they instantly detach from the outcome. Whether the person is saved is governed by fire, physics, and external forces. By detaching from the uncontrollable outcome, the Stoic avoids paralysis and emotional burnout, ensuring they can perform the action effectively, regardless of the result. This distinction is the true engine that allows for relentless, yet burnout-proof effort. The purpose of detachment is not merely to avoid pain. It is to create the mental space necessary for the pursuit of the soul, good, virtue, wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. This focus is maintained by the constant tool of perception, or continuous presence of mind. This is the moment-to-moment check. An external event occurs, a colleague is rude. The untrained mind reacts with instant anger or offense. The Stoic, using perception, pauses. They instantly recognize that anger is an optional judgment. They choose not to judge the event as a slight, but merely as an indifferent event that requires a temperate, rational response. This ability to choose the space between stimulus and reaction is where the superpower operates. Detachment is the radical resistance against a consumer culture that thrives on attaching our happiness to external, fleeting, and uncontrollable things. The ultimate reward is eudaimonia, or human flourishing. It is not perpetual happiness, but a profound, lasting satisfaction rooted in the knowledge that one's life is entirely aligned with reason and virtue. The truly detached Stoic is happy not because of their circumstances, but because their happiness is rooted entirely in the inner citadel, a fortress they alone command. In conclusion, Stoic detachment is not emotional emptiness, it is emotional precision. It is the wisdom to distinguish between what we can influence and what we cannot, and the courage to invest our entire being only in the former. This process grants a form of psychological invincibility, transforming the reactive victim into an unperturbed master of their own soul. The pursuit of this detachment is the ultimate human superpower.